Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
BooBaes.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
BooBaes.
That's right.
Where you get your horror and all your booze from us two.
And boobies.
Yes.
Lots of those.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're ready to have some thrills today. So today we're going to be talking about The Haunting.
Yes.
One of Caitlin's favorite, right?
Yeah, so it was one that actually traumatized me as a kid. And so we're talking about the 1999 adaptation of Sherry Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House. Shirley.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if that's where Shirley in The Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix series, comes in. Because remember the other sister is named Shirley?
Mm-hmm.
So I bet you that's where she comes in.
Yeah. I actually have some notes today. So
Okay.
I have some little information.
Dope.
But yes, you're right. They were paying homage to her in The Haunting of Hill House because she was an extra character.
Yeah, because it was like the main three are Nell, Theo, and Luke.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then they added in the other ones, which is weird. Like, why didn't they just make her the novelist in The Haunting of Hill House instead of the brother?
Yeah.
Whatever his name was.
I think which was done really well, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just a different adaptation.
There was the one in the 63.
63.
That came out, and to be honest, I've not seen that one. I do want to go watch it now.
I watched some clips of it actually online that I found on YouTube.
It apparently got great reviews.
It's actually a really good movie. It's by
the public hated this one.
Yeah, it's by the first one was by this guy named Robert Wise. And he's actually the director of The Day the Earth Stood Still, West Side Story, Sound of Music, the Andromeda Strain. Like, man has got hits behind him.
So, I would imagine that one would be good then.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that came out with that movie back then was just like, I think he was like the inception of like building up scare, but without showing you anything there.
That's my favorite kind of horror.
Yeah.
Now, this movie does not do that.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's a little bit cheesy. But as like in 99 and like when I was a kid watching this movie growing up, I mean, to me the special effects weren't that bad. Like, I don't remember thinking, oh my God. Like, of course I was still a kid, I was like 10 or not in 99, but like, I was still very young. Probably I was like 10 by the time I watched it.
6.
Yeah. I might have been around 8 probably the first time I watched this movie. So early 2000s when I watched it, I was like, okay. I mean, the only real movies that had like pretty good special effects at that point that I feel like were like cutting edge would have been the Star Wars and Lord of the Rings franchises.
Right at the beginning of the early 2000s, yeah. But like you're saying though too, it looks outdated now because of everything and how far we've come in technology.
Exactly. I'm like, if you go back and you watch any like fucking H.G. Wells' Time Machine, love that movie.
It's laughable though.
It is now. But like at the time I was like, this is good.
This is the shit.
And so, you know, growing up, I was like, whoa, that's fucking weird when those little baby heads would start talking and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the part that got me is I always wanted a canopy bed growing up. I was like, that would be so cool. It's like a fucking princess castle, like got a canopy. I look dope as shit. Mm-hmm. And then there's that one scene where he like comes, Hugh comes out of the top of the canopy bed, or like his face, it's like a face, and it comes towards her, and I think is borderline impregnating her, or like that's kind of like the vibe that's going on.
I can see that. Yeah.
Because he was like trying to get, I think that was like one of the main points is he's trying to build his family.
So the movie is about.
But that shit scared me. That after that, I was like, fuck canopy beds. Don't want them. And then Milo has me afraid of air vents in the floor.
Air vents in the floor?
Yeah, you know, like in trailer homes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Where they got.
I used to have one of those.
Oh, yeah. They're scary, huh?
Yeah.
My friend's house, she's got a giant one. Like where your whole body can just go into it already. Like it's like half the size of this table.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I'm like, I guess they need it for like actual air circulation and stuff like that. But I was like, put a fucking rug over that, or like put a bookshelf over it.
Can we put some sequins, something? Can we jazz it up?
Yeah,
just make it less scary.
Right now it looks like a pit of despair that I can fall into, and I'm gonna see a little kid in a yellow raincoat crawling around under it.
Oh wow! You know, that reminds me of a really funny story. Is we used to live in a trailer house, my family back in the day, and I think I was still really little. Had the air vents and all, a big air vent, not even a small one. It was a huge ass, you know? And so, disregard the air vent situation thing. But one time my sister had a friend over and she fell through the floor of the house.
Shit. She said, fast track to getting into the air vent system.
She said, solution, I've got it. Jam, fell right through. One leg though. So only one leg fell through. So she was literally like a bitch, half a body in. Imagine some like 13-year-old girl just in the floor.
Damn, it's funny, but also like unfortunate for her. I'm sure she did not find it very funny at the time.
Humble beginnings. Yeah.
Hey man, I was like, my most recent trailer house and the one that my parents still live in just has AC units in the window now. It's not even connected. There's no AC.
There's no judgment.
It's just trash.
Okay. We do what we do. It's okay. Trash is fine. It's all fine. Everything's on fire, but it's fine.
This is fine.
So we kind of just dove in there, but to kind of give everybody some context, The Haunting, 1999. Director he has a really like, I wrote it down, I know it. John DeBont. He's.
Oh, first off, so this, we said it got pretty trashed by the public. This movie got a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Which is trash.
Yeah.
That is so bad. 5 out of 10 on IMDb, and then like 42% on Metacritic, and then like I think 28% like the public was like 28%. They were like, this is what it gets. So like most horror movies kind of get panned like immediately just because, I mean,
the genre.
Yeah, a lot of people they don't understand it, or I feel like horror movie critics like. Superficial ones, not us, who just like horror.
Yeah.
They'll fucking go to town and destroy the fuck out of most movies.
Scathing review.
Yeah. And so this one got that, but then also the public. But then I was also reading some audience reviews online, and but they were like, critics pan aside, they were like, I fucking love this remake. Has its own flavor of the story, much more visual version than the original. The cherubs on the wall are so emotive, and they actually scared me for a second. When I was a kid, the moment they started, I was like, oh, fuck, like babies on a wall talking?
Don't want that.
Yeah, hard pass. Get me the fuck away from it.
No, yeah, and then, they built it up. It all kind of came towards the end, like all just crashing in this like last 30 minute scene of just CGI, ghosts, moving statue.
That part, towards the end, it's like now, I mean, I remember going back and rewatching it even 2 years ago and being like, oh, okay.
This is what this
But I still like it. Like, I still think it's a pretty okay horror movie.
John DeBont will be very thankful that you said that, wherever he is, if he's still alive.
Everyone else?
You know, he's actually the director of a movie that I kind of really like. Twister.
I fucking love Twister.
I love Twister.
Twister's like, oh man. Yeah, no, my stepdad's from Oklahoma. And so we like drove over. It was like filmed not long from his house. And so like we kind of drove around and saw some of the scenes from Twister.
We got cows.
Twister's great. That's and the good. Belt holding you on through an F5 tornado, totally realistic.
Very realistic. You know, and then one of my favorite scenes is like the movie theater scene, the drive-in scene when that tornado's coming. Like that is in itself like a weather horror movie.
Oh,
in a
yeah.
sense.
No, I mean, it's scary because if that shit was to happen to you in real life, like I think that could be classified as some sort of horror.
From like the ages of like from like the ages of 7 to like probably 12, I wanted to be a meteorologist because we had like a really bad storm one time and there was a tornado like close to our house. And I was just like, nope, I'm going to beat you. I need to know everything how you work so that way I can survive.
Because I am terrified of tornadoes and I've never seen one at all in person and I would love to keep it that way. The moment that like anytime the sky starts turning green, I'm like, get me out of here.
It's a sign.
I need a bathtub.
It's a sign.
Anyways,
so
John DeBont.
John DeBont, the movie stars Lily Taylor, who is the lady from
the first Conjuring.
The first Conjuring.
She's the mom.
Although she's got an even longer, repertoire of stuff under her belt.
Oh yeah.
Liam Neeson, of course.
Love him. Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've got some Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Love her. Hot as fuck.
For the sex appeal.
I would be a lesbian for her.
And right. Owen Wilson. Well, you don't have to stretch too far.
Yeah.
And then Owen Wilson is in it. Wow.
Yeah, it's strange.
That was a choice.
Seeing him in
a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I think that was the only one he did.
Said, ooh, not for you, bud.
We're not going to put you in it.
But he did offer some good comic relief, I feel like.
Comic relief. It was also, too, in watching it, it's like he was painfully just like pointing out every obvious thing. Like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Ooh, the fucking... sorry, I just remembered the whole fucking piano key.
Oh, splicing that chick's eye.
Ooh. Yeah. And then him in the fireplace scene. That part's fun.
Which poor guy. I mean, but also too, he was in that same fireplace earlier. He knew what was gonna happen. But it's real funny because you watch movies and they play things out and you watch it and it's like a scene that's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, right? But then I think in my head, realistically, this is all happening like from perspectives of everybody they're showing us. So like this is happening in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But we're watching it, so it's really weird. Yeah. But yeah, man.
It's got some pretty big names.
Yeah, it does. It had a good roster for 1999. And they for the most part did pretty well. I was catching up on the 1963 version of it and watching some clips and stuff. And it is very much so a remake for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just that they took a different spin on it. In the first movie, they actually told them that it was for a ghost study.
Supernatural events,
stuff.
Yeah.
They were going to go and,
instead of saying insomnia.
Yeah. And in this one, Liam Neeson's character, the doctor, he tells them that it's for a insomnia experiment.
Yeah, a little sleep clinic. In a weird haunted mansion.
All alone, locked, gated. Nobody lives there. Of course, the people,
There's just
the caretaker,
two weird caretakers,
and the caretakers don't even stay there overnight. They leave when the sun goes down and lock the gates behind them.
And they make a pretty clear point of saying, "No, we don't stay here after dark.
We don't.
Yeah,
we won't tell you why, but we think you should pick up on that.
Yeah, it's the moment anyone's like, "No, I get the fuck out of here." Like,
and there are no questions being asked.
I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So don't sleep here. Got it. Unless I'm like purposely looking for ghosts. Like, because I would willingly lock myself in a haunted mansion overnight. I would too. Yeah. I want to see that shit. I mean, as long as it's not going to like fucking chase me down the hallway in like a weird. That's probably also. Isn't there a scene? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I didn't rewatch this because I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Well, it's on Paramount Plus, but my mom like was supposed to do something and then she stopped responding to me. So
I watched it 2.5 times for you.
But I was like, I watched it a billion times as a kid, and then I read a bunch of reviews on it. And then I also watched it 2 years ago at Thanksgiving because
every family does that for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a Thanksgiving tradition. But isn't there a scene where he like chases her down the hallway in like a fucking wheelchair? Or there's a wheelchair somewhere, isn't there? Or maybe I envisioned that as a kid. It's like at that door.
Yeah.
To his study.
Oh, maybe I didn't watch it 2.5 times.
I don't know. This one could be one that I was misremembering though from a kid. I also have a like weird fear of wheelchairs in the middle of a room.
Yeah.
Just empty wheelchairs. I don't like it because whatever the hell is supposed to be in that fucking wheelchair shouldn't be around walking. And so that typically means they're crawling.
Yeah.
Which I don't fuck with things that crawl.
Or they were never supposed to be in the wheelchair in the first place.
Yeah. And so it's just a bunch of lies and I don't like it. There was this one time that I was going to a haunted house and like I was like, I don't fuck with wheelchairs in the middle of the room. So I typically am like haunted asylum houses are the ones that scare me the most because I don't fucking like wheelchairs. And they were like, that's such a weird fear, Caitlin. Like you'll maybe see one, you'll be fine. We got into the third room of this house.
Nothing but wheelchairs. It
was fucking wheelchairs on the ceiling, wheelchairs everywhere. And they all three turn around and look at me like, and I was like, I fucking told you. And they were like, oh, and I was like, get me out of this goddamn room.
That is so scary.
And then we had to crawl through a hole. Like at one point we had to crawl on our hands and knees. And I was like the first one to come out the other side and this bitch is like crawling towards me and I was like, fuck this. I was like, I don't do crawling people.
I couldn't. Yeah.
It was good haunted house.
That sounds like a good one. Where'd you even go for that?
It's one of those touring ones. It was in Austin. It's like one of the big ones.
I've always wanted to do the ones where it's like you have to sign a waiver before you go into.
Oh yeah.
Like,
See,
you know.
I don't know if I could actually handle that.
It seems like fun.
Yeah.
I just want to be scared.
Oh. I was like, never mind.
I just want to be murdered.
I just want to be murdered.
Just want to be murdered consensually. Cold blood. Be a part of the show.
Little kinky.
No kink shames here. Anyways, and so yeah. So story is that this old guy, Hugh Crane, he wanted to. He fell in love. He got a wife. Wanted to knock her up. Have big house with beautiful babies inside of it. And I think what was the thing? He wanted his house to be full of the sound of children's laughter.
Yeah.
I don't know who wants their house filled with the sound of children's laughter. Not me.
Especially not an abandoned mansion.
But
that's an issue.
That's what we were working for. And apparently his wife ended up, she had babies. She wasn't barren, but all the babies died. And she went crazy. Yeah. Killed herself. And then he just kind of kept adding on and building onto this house. And then apparently he would steal children from the mill. Basically, I guess children
child
without
labor. Child laborers.
and make them work. But then he wouldn't let them go.
Essentially orphan children.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't let them go, and they would be trapped.
Kill them.
And then they'd die.
And burn them in the fireplace.
And
so that way they could never leave.
Their souls would be there forever, trapped.
And so they're there forever, all the time.
What an evil man.
Yeah, and then also like that, if he commissioned that portrait of him on the wall, he should have gotten a discount because it wasn't a cute look for him.
Honestly, I think he wanted it to look that way.
Oh yeah, he looked like fucking like Beast, but not
sexy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that crush.
Without the Disney flair.
When I was young.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, Beast was hot as fuck. And then when he turned into a prince, I was like...
Give it to me. Give me the sauce.
He had a big nose, but I was into it. I mean, Jafar was one of my first crushes, so I can't talk.
Mine was Prince Eric and Aladdin.
I pretty much the entire cast of Aladdin, I was like...
literally.
I'm here for this. And then...
Even the Sultan.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, a little
short,
weird.
A little short step.
Yeah.
So all this stuff happens. He dies. Apparently, the people who lived in the town were just like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna do anything. Just leave it there. It's haunted." Rot. Yeah, literally. And Liam Neeson's character decided this is the perfect place to have an insomniac sleep clinic. Let's bring people who have trouble sleeping and put them in this mansion. And on the first night, I'm going to tell you this horrifying story of the man who lived here.
Yeah.
And
so plant a little seed of fear in
good
your
night.
Brains.
That's
have
it.
fun sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let your minds run amok.
There was a lot of, to me, overacting in this. I felt like there was compensation for a lack of look at the material, honey.
Plot.
Yeah.
Lack of
the writing, the source material. Yeah.
Because the plot is there. I mean, the movie.
It was already made.
It is. Yeah. It's already made. And then there's an actual book.
Yeah.
So we had talked a little bit. I was going to kind of read a little bit of the plot from the actual novel.
Yeah, okay.
Because we had talked briefly on one of the episodes about how, like, neither of us have actually read this.
The book, yeah.
And I'll say, I didn't know, like, I completely forgot that The Haunting was about Hill House at all.
Oh, yeah.
Until I just, like, remembered it one day after watching The Haunting of Hill House, the
and
Netflix adaptation.
Yeah,
and then I was watching it, and then they were like, Hill House. And then I was like, Hugh and Theo and everyone. And it all started coming together, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, because I knew there were other adaptations of the novel. But I didn't put two and two together.
Yeah.
Until going back and rewatching it. And then I was like, oh.
Well, I didn't even know until you told me.
Yeah.
So.
But so I will say the movies are a better adaptation of the summary of the book. With the whole idea that they're going to this Hill House with the idea of a sleep study, and then it's actually being a paranormal, or well, the paranormal is actually what it is. The sleep study was the fun fact thrown in with the 1999 version. But like, so the main characters, as we already kind of talked, were Nell, Luke, and then Theo. It says a bohemian artist implied to be a lesbian. She never actually has come out, but in all adaptations, they've made her pretty lesbian.
Well, she was pretty lesbian in this 99 version, but she only had one line where it explicitly kind of like, where in the beginning,
because at first I was like, she gonna sleep with everyone.
Nell asked her something, and she was just like, yeah, well, my girlfriend loves it, but my boyfriend hates it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, 99 work.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Get it. And then, in the Netflix version, there's no question.
Very lesbian.
Lesbian.
Bisexual, I believe her character was, maybe.
Not
necessarily.
It's been years since I watched that now.
Yeah.
I should rewatch that. It was good. It was really good.
It was a really good adaptation of the story, because also too, coming from someone that I didn't even realize or know that it was based on a novel. It just seemed like a really good original source of work. Yeah, it was really well told, and the twist and how you come back from, like, you find out she's the bent neck lady. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched it by now, like, what the fuck is
go
your
off
problem?
yourself. Just kidding.
Go die. You've had like 3 years at this point. I don't know if it's been.
There was a whole ass pandemic last year. What else were you doing?
And then they've come out with the second season. So if you wanted to watch that not so great season,
not so much of a fan of that one.
You could. It wasn't scary. It was just a love story. So pretty much the same ideas there, and the parts that really, like in the Netflix adaptation, that they kind of follow is Nell's like descent into mental instability. And that's like kind of the whole point. Like through all the different things, you're questioning whether or not Nell is sane.
Yeah. Whether this is actually happening or not.
Yeah. If it's in her head or she's like playing it out. Like they seem to make it seem, especially in the Netflix one, that she was kind of making some of this up or like blowing things out of proportion, and they were just like, oh, it's just Nell. Like,
well, and the same thing too with the 99 version, especially at the beginning, how they open it up like she's a single woman in her 40s who lived with her mom caretaking her, and then her mom dies, and then her sister's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
we're selling the house. Yeah. So yeah, she already didn't seem to like mentally stable.
Yeah, she's probably got like, seems like she's been sheltered and not like actually interacted with society a whole bunch, and so almost reclusive.
Yeah,
doesn't really probably know all the social cues.
Like, honestly, if we could resurrect Robert Wise and have him do like a prequel to that, like there's some underlying trauma there that is probably a whole nother horror story of how she ended up being the way she was.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was hard to tell, I guess, at the beginning, if you're first watching it, like, no, she's probably just crazy and she's the one doing all this.
But then like towards the end, you're like, oh no, it is haunted.
And I could imagine, that's like the worst like situation to be in, is like you're fucking being tormented. Yeah. And like nobody believes you. Yeah. And when you try to prove it,
that would make me go crazy.
It looks even more suspicious.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's like, Like, that's pretty much what kept happening to Nell in the Netflix version. Like, no one kept leaving her. Like, her siblings weren't answering, you know. And then I thought it was interesting because in this, The Haunting, she has like kind of, you know, like she has these abilities to like see these things and like has a connection with like the past and stuff. And so then I thought it was interesting how the Netflix adaptation, like her and Luke with the twin thing had that connection, and like Luke knew, like he woke up, he was like, oh fuck, something's wrong. Yeah. And then Theo had the touch, which I don't think is at all really anything in the novel or the book, but it was still a cool thing.
It was a bunch of flashiness that really got me roped into it.
I loved it. I was like, okay, dope, cool.
Yeah, it really added to the story too.
Yeah. The whole idea of the red room. Now, I don't think the red door room thing. Yeah. I guess the closest thing that we have in The Haunting would be his study.
Yeah, that door that they couldn't open for the longest time. And I think
it doesn't change.
The big thing too with the book and the actual, like, every adaptation, the 63, 99, and The Haunting of Hill House, the house itself is a character.
Yes.
Like, it's a major integral role, a part of it. Yeah.
I mean, it plays, the house is alive. And
very much so.
And then with the novel, it's called Hill House because it's situated between some hills. And so in the name, and like the Netflix version, their last name is Hill, isn't it? And so then it's like, okay, that makes it being a family name makes sense, kind of thing. But
well, it really adds to the stakes when you add in not just like random strangers all going into one spot for one night. Like this is a family there's drama. There are ties.
And then the wife still, well, she completes suicide, but like she still dies and stuff. So that part is like true to the kind of story. And then with the whole, the mom's like kind of like calls Nell there, and like they're saying time to come home, and like then like so like the last scene of the Haunting of Hill House, you don't actually know whether or not they're out of the red room. Yeah, which is like
it's like an Inception thing.
Yeah, it's like
still spinning. Like, is this
Shutter
reality?
Island kind of too, and so it's like you don't really know what happened, but like the whole idea, they're trying to fill the house with family, and so it ties the family way and that way, which is interesting. I liked that.
It's just a different way for them to like work the story in from the originals.
Yeah,
I don't know, it was really good. I love how we're shitting on The Haunting and they're like, oh yeah, go watch The Haunting of Hill House. But also too, because it's a series, you're able to dive in more and divulge more into the plot and the story and the characters,
because each episode is like an hour long. And so The Haunting is a barely 2 hour long movie. So I mean, it's still a relatively long movie.
It's actually pretty long.
Yeah.
But with a lot of slow working parts.
Oh man, that the little greenhouse.
Oh yeah.
Conservatory. That's the word. I would fucking kill for that.
It's pretty cool.
The like whole house in itself is like, I would fucking kill to live there.
The scene where they're like, she's up at the top about to jump off or something because she's trying to find a ghost spirit, and then Liam Neeson's like hanging on by all these
the little
metal stairs, whatever,
the spiral staircase,
and they're falling. I love how Luke and Theo are just there like, oh my god,
what do we do?
Oh my god, and they're just saying, I'm like, can someone help?
Let's get a sheet and catch Liam Neeson.
Literally
bounce him off like a cartoon character.
Oh my gosh, they did nothing. They were watching, and honestly,
they're just reenacting Qui-Gon Jinn's death too. Chop him in half, send him over the edge. Overall, I enjoyed the experience. Again, didn't read the novel. Never saw the original one. So like as a standalone film in the 90s or early 2000s, essentially, I thought it was good.
Yeah. And I think we have to keep that mind of reference is that like 99 to early 2000s, if you're in this bubble, if you time machine back, like this is a solid movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
If you watch it now, of course, yes, those cherub heads talking on the wall are going to be silly as fuck. It's silly.
A little bit. There was a lot of use of CGI. And I think
they were trying.
They were trying. Well, and it was not necessarily maybe
it's under budget.
That, or maybe it could have been. Maybe they were working with a tight budget, or maybe they were trying to do something that, I mean, because I don't really know of any horror movies that use CGI. around
aside
that time.
from the monsters and stuff. Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's like with Blair Witch and everything.
It's practical effects and stuff like that. And I think even
with I think
right before that,
fucking The Exorcist, it was all makeup and then actually getting your fucking body broken.
Yeah.
So like that was what they did. Also, so this movie got shit on. Apparently, there's like these things called Golden Raspberry Awards, which are like that's
bad
where they
movies.
just shit on movies.
Okay.
And then also Stinker's Bad Movie Awards. And so it was nominated. It lost all of them. It lost in all 5 of these to Wild Wild West.
Okay, I can see that.
So it was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Director.
Oh no.
Worst Actress of Catherine Zeta-Jones. Worst Screenplay. Worst Screen Couple was Lily and Catherine Zeta-Jones. It did win so it was nominated for all those for the Golden Raspberry Awards or the
Razzies. That's
Awards.
so that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, it's I guess the official name is Golden Raspberries, but then Razzies.
Well, that's the same award that like Sandra Bullock that one year, the same year, had won the
best
what's it called?
Best
the
actress.
Oscar.
Yeah,
for the
Oscar.
Blind Side.
Okay,
and then at the same time for some other B movie, the one All About Steve or something like that, some comedy.
Oh yeah.
Next year she won the Razzie for it. So
I like All About Steve.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Wasn't she when she fell in the hole?
Yeah, she was fucking crazy. I loved it.
Me.
But so then it was also it won a few for Stinker's Bad Movie Awards. So it Worst Picture, dishonorable mentions. It says The Haunting. It won. It's Worst Sense of Direction. It was nominated. Worst Screenplay for a film grossing over 100 million worldwide.
Oh my god, that is so much money for trash.
Yeah, it is. And then it did win the Worst Remake category.
Okay.
And then it was nominated for the least special effects, and the remake, sequel, or prequel nobody was clamoring for.
Oh my god.
So this movie got shit on.
That
as a whole,
John
people
DeBont.
fucking hated it. It like got pretty much a C+ and like an A to F.
Imagine going from the gold mine that is Twister to putting out that,
To that.
and getting all those
And you're
reviews.
like, God damn. No, but I mean, again, I thought it was great. It did its job of scaring me as a kid. It left a lasting mark. I still will not fuck with a canopy bed.
Honestly, the trauma.
If it's got posts coming up on the side too, I'm like, there don't even got to be a little sheet thing on it. I'm still like,
Don't fuck with it.
yeah. I'm like, what if a ghost turns into a sheet and then gets me?
It could happen, obviously.
Exactly. So
CGI has come a long way.
yeah. Now it could be real. I would be actually interested in seeing another remake.
The exact same movie, just remade.
Do it.
Same characters, same actors.
Yes.
Same everything.
Same actors. Actually, kinda, yeah.
Like, right?
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Just better.
Yeah, because now they've got a few more.
No Owen Wilson. It's Luke Wilson playing Luke.
Wilson. But yeah. Overall, for me, because of the nostalgia, like even when I watch it now, I still like it.
I kind of found myself wanting to like it because you liked it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I influenced you.
Maybe.
It's okay if you don't like it.
But
you can get this thing
I honestly didn't. I'm like, I wasn't that.
It's not as shitty as they're leading it to be.
I think so for me, it got really bogged down and muddled with all those effects.
Yes.
If you would have just left it like the story it was, and maybe some more practical kind of things,
like
I think it would have been okay.
And then like panning in on the cherubs, which they do at first.
They do.
And then they start actually moving.
And then like the ending scene where she like gets on the wall and all these things are on her, and then like I just felt like it was almost like a horror movie, and because it was the late 90s and all those like action movies were out, Mission Impossible, I think, like Terminator, all those whatever, I feel like they were trying to make a big budget like spectacle of a horror movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes less is more, especially in horror.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I typically am not a fan of people going over. I don't like to see the ghost face. Which like, I mean, with his face, Hugh's like face coming in through like the canopy and stuff like that.
It was, it wasn't like a face.
Yeah. It like was still implied. It's like, when the curtains move and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see why it's not the best horror film, but I still like it. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's worth a watch.
I think it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch when you like have just a chill day. You can watch a few horror movies, put it in there, slip it in.
Slip it right in, just the tip.
Just the tip. And you know, you feel your own way with it. If like halfway through it, you're like, this is
get
bunk.
Fucking high as shit and watch that movie. I bet it's fun.
Honestly.
Is that what you did?
You know I did.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, if you didn't, I'd be upset.
Just a little bit. Just one little hit. But
one little hit. I think I'd give it 3.5.
You'd give it 3.5?
Or maybe 4.
That's you
for
go
nostalgia.
For it. That was me with
4 for nostalgia.
I will give it I honestly will give it a solid. Okay, so in 99 I will give it a solid like 3. Nowadays I give it like a 2.5. See, I didn't even drop that far. A 2.5.
Like, I still like it.
I still liked it. Yes. I still enjoyed it. You know, I don't know. I think it was because of like the story. I kind of went into it already knowing about like watching the Hill House and already us having conversation about the other older movie a little bit.
I will say, once I like realized that, and when I watched it with that mindset,
with that knowledge,
it was much more interesting. And I was like, ooh, and then I was able to make comparisons.
Exactly. I found myself like in my head, oh, that's cool because they made it work like this and this and this and that. And what I think for me is it really gave me a sense of appreciation for the story they were telling in that one. Because like everyone has their own vision, and you know, we're all creatives, we're all artists. I don't want to just shit on someone. Like at some point they thought this was great. You know, so you know
they wouldn't put it out otherwise.
So for what it was, like, unless they were just getting paid,
they were just like, I just want my goddamn paycheck, which is fair.
Mr. DeBont, he was like, I'm ready to go back to France.
Yeah,
he's probably not even French. But yeah,
Canadian.
A good. You know, I will leave it at 3 solid booze for me.
3.5 booze, maybe 4 on a good day. It's like my height, 5'3 1/4, 5'4 on a good day.
There you go.
So that's what it is. Yeah, worth a watch. I'd say watch it, and then definitely watch The Haunting of Hill House if you haven't already.
Well, how many booze would you give that? While we're talking, since we're on topic,
4.5, almost 5.
Yeah,
I loved it. I don't know what it was about watching it. I think I was not in a good place mentally when I was watching it, but every single episode triggered like bad panic attacks for me. Like I wasn't scared per se. I will say when that little bowling hat man came in floating, I was like, no. Hard fucking pass. No. Would shit my pants if I saw that in real life.
I couldn't stand seeing her silhouette of like this.
Oh yeah, I did. I will say I saw the bent neck lady thing coming from like a mile away. I was like, oh, that's Nell.
It's her.
That's her. But overall, I thought it was great, and yeah, it like triggered panic attacks for me. I don't know. So like I had to watch it one episode at a time because I kept having such like intense reactions to the show. Yeah. Not even being scared. It was just like something, it was hurting me. Like, I mean, I was like feeling like pain. Like I was so
that's a thing.
Empathetic towards the characters. And I was like it was just like, it's not even like I related to them. I mean, I guess I pretty hardcore related to Nell. And I think at that time I was going through some but like, I don't know. Well, not like drug addictions or anything, but like.
Well, there's science behind it. There's a lot of mind to body, like muscle. Like if you feel shitty up here, your body's going to do the same thing.
Exactly. And so that's pretty much what it did. And I mean, honestly, that kind of heightened my experience for it. It made me really appreciate it. Because I've gone back and rewatched it since, and I've not reacted that way. Yeah. Maybe it's because I knew what was going to happen. I don't know, but
you already experienced the
enjoyed
triggering.
It.
Yeah.
And I will say though, the last episode, nothing. I felt nothing.
No.
Yeah, like everyone was like, I was crying, blah blah blah. And I was just like stone faced watching it, like, okay.
Still a good story, but yeah.
No, but yeah, I loved it.
I don't think I cried, and I cried during most things. I don't think I cried.
Yeah, I cried, but only because of panic attacks, not because I was sad. Well, I guess I was sad. But I didn't cry at the last episode when everyone's like fucking dying.
I think there would have been a problem if you were that sad and you weren't crying.
Yeah.
So you're just letting it out.
Maybe at that point.
It's therapeutic. Horror therapy.
No
honestly.
tears left to cry. I'm Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. But she's still crying somewhere in the bathroom right now.
Probably. What do you think of it? You liked it?
I liked it a lot. I liked the progression of it. I was one of the people, I guess, who didn't see that little that didn't see her being the bent lady coming from a mile away. Just because that also then ties in, like, maybe I overthink it, but I'm just like, are we working time like travel into this, or like, because I'm like, how is that her coming to her in ghost form, coming to her when she hasn't died yet?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but it's one of those, I guess, like,
I think there was some sort of time slips happening, / I guess in the spiritual realm, things are,
there's like,
it doesn't have to abide by the laws of the earth.
Maybe. Well, there's a lot of, because there's like a few different multiple kind of versions of theories of time travel and how you look at it. Like, where like one is like, there's the Back to the Future, where like if you go to the past and change something, it will change your current future.
Yeah.
Or you could go to the past and change something and it would just create like a branching future where the same future is still happening, but you have another future happening. And then there's the one where you go back and your past is your future and your future is your past. So whatever you do, everything's going to stay the same. It's going to happen because it's all a circle. Yeah. So I felt like that's what they were falling into.
Because then I feel like it probably gave her the idea of how to complete suicide.
Well, and I didn't cry, but it was really sad when you finally see the episode, and I think it's the bent neck lady episode right in the middle where you see her go to the house and she's dancing with the ghost, and she thinks she's putting on the necklace that her mom gave her, and it's really a noose. And it's like, at that point, I felt like it wasn't her decision. Like, she was coerced into, whatever.
Yeah, and then it makes you really think about the role of the mother.
Yeah.
And like, at what point, because she was obviously, something got to her in that
and it was
house.
the house,
and she had mental instability. Like, she'd talk about her color storms and stuff in her head. Like, she obviously had some.
And I think that's a lot of the case
issues
with a lot of horror movies and stuff like that, or the tropes of like being possessed or dealing with spiritual, anything like that.
All the time it's thrown off his mental issues.
And it's usually people too who are susceptible to it, or the people who have already like a low, like their mental capacity is like, they're dealing with all their shit. Like
and with most hauntings, if you have a bad home life, like there's a lot of turmoil within the family, that's when a lot of the times like demonic possessions or entities and stuff comes through, and it gets really, really bad. It has to do with your mental state. If you're not, like, if you're on top of the world, that shit's probably not going to bother you, probably because you're not going to fucking pay attention. But like, if you're already like, I fucking want to die,
falling through the cracks,
this is bad, you're losing your sense of reality, like not knowing, did I just actually see this, did I not, like, I mean, and then you start questioning yourself, and it's just a big spiral, and you're gone, and you're just gone. And that's like,
they make a film about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on true events that happened 40 years ago.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Watch it all. Go
watch them all. Guys, watch all 3.
Yeah.
Review them.
I'm going to go watch the first one now.
Yeah, literally. I want to too. Honestly, I'm inspired to read the book.
I would like to read the book.
I don't like reading. Honestly, I'll put it out there. I'm not a huge fan, but maybe if it's horror, you know what? I've never tried reading like legit horror.
Oh, I read Stephen King growing up.
Stephen King has all his stuff, but I've never actually read them. I just watch movies.
Yeah. The books are better. But
that's what I hear.
I remember there was this one book I got at a book fair growing up, and it was called like The House on Hockman Hill or something. It's probably not even that, but that it kind of gives me the same
vibes.
Hockman.
It was John DeBont trying to read it.
I don't know if this is an actual book. Hackman's Hill. The House on Hackman's Hill. Yes, that is the cover.
Oh my God.
I read that when I was like,
we're going to post this later for y'all to see.
It got 4 out of 5. 92% of users like this book. Oh, I should go buy this and read it again. And then also read this book.
The Haunting House by Shirley Jackson. Whenever it said Shirley Jackson, for some reason, I thought we were talking about Mary Shelley.
I was getting Mary Shelley vibes too.
About Frankenstein. And I'm like, wait, she wrote this shit too?
Now, there is a pretty new and interesting ortho watch on Shudder of Mary. I believe it's called Shelley or Mary Shelley or something. It's like a nice, you get to see kind of her descent.
Oh, okay.
into her horror writing. It's good. You should
that's
watch
cool.
It. Actually, we'll talk about that sometime.
Man,
too.
we need more female horror writers, producers.
Yeah, she was so
everything.
ahead of her time. Fucking good for her. Anyways, we should wrap this episode up. But 4 out of 5, 3.5 to 4 boos for me. 2.5
and a good solid
to 3 for you.
3 for me. Yeah,
That's fair.
That's the booze you're getting.
Go watch it yourself. Let us know what you thought of it. If you thought it was trash, or you thought, okay, yeah, maybe I could watch it from a 1999 perspective.
Just give it a chance.
Anyways, you can. Thanks for listening to this episode. We are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios. We don't know what we'll watch next week, but tune in to see.
We're going to find it out for y'all.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're not holding ourselves accountable to anything.
Not at all.
You can follow us on Instagram at BooBaes Podcast. All one big lettered word. And now that's
all together.
Baes, BAES, no B's.
Yeah, not BooBabes.
Yeah.
BooBaes.
No, like boobies.
Yeah.
But
who doesn't love boobies?
We're spooky baes because we're hot.
Thank you guys. We hope to come back and talk to you soon about horrors, about scaries, about all the things in between.
Maybe we'll do a classic. I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to come back next week to find out.
What
we appreciate
horrible horror movie we're reviewing.
That's right. Oh, also, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us.
It's the only way that we get to keep doing this and getting into your little eardrums over there.
Exactly. Tell all your friends, families, pyramid scheme it out. You can find us on all your listening platforms like Apple Podcast,
Spotify,
also Google Play,
also
Pandora,
there we go, and wherever else you might be able to find your podcasts.
Yeah, all your listening pleasures, we're there. Anyways,
I hope y'all have a great week.
Have a good day.
A frightening, fantastic one. Until then,
spookies. Bye.
Bye, baes.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.